day teachers get that from? Before Christ, right? You understand how things get passed on and get carried on? If it was wrong, it wouldn't exist. It wouldn't surpass time. You got what I'm saying? You something so small, something so direct. You know what I mean? A compass, a direction, a tool used to guide you. That's how it was processed. That's how I processed it the first time a teacher ever did it to me. As may be imagined, a schoolboy's scrawl over 3,000 years old is no easy thing to translate. But Forte de Mix, the Egyptologist, welcomes any version, even the most barbarous. Fortunately, the MS from which these translations come is not of this kind. A detailed description of it may interest some of my readers. The prize papyrus, which is well known by name and a few extracts to all persons conversing with Egyptian matters, was acquired in Egypt by M. Price de Venice, a French archaeologist of distinction, and published by him in 1847. The exact place of its discovery is unknown. M. Price is said to have bought it of one of the fellowmen whom he employed to make excavations at the burial ground of Thebes. This man pretended that he had no knowledge of its finding, as he was trying to sell it for a friend. It is believed that it was actually taken by the Arab from the tomb of one of the kings Intep, but this is not certain. If it were, it would perhaps enable us to fix a terminus ad quem for the writing of this copy. Although tombs often contain objects of later date, the papyrus was presented in about 1847 by M. Price to the Bibliothèque Nationale. In those days, the Bibliothèque Royale at Paris, where it still is, divided and glazed in the usual manner. All right, I'm going to read this footnote. And the footnote says, see appendix for the literature of this papyrus. Then it says, these were kings of the 11th dynasty, about 2,985 BC. Well, that's the end of this reading of concerning this book. And basically it's explaining how this book was structured. Basically explaining that, you know, Ptahhotep was, you know, a professor. You know what I mean? If you can understand it better, was a professor, you know, and he taught us Kemites how to be civilized. You know, he, like I said, you know, Congress. You know what I mean? This man laid the law down. This man presented law, made it where that the laws and how man is supposed to present themselves still is in existence today. So I say this, you know, because I'm never going to stop explaining how Jews think, how the Jewish culture is. I'm just not. You got what I'm saying? I haven't said anything disrespectful. I haven't said anything that determines or stand on I hate Jews. For anything, a Jew should be happy, should be very accepting the way that I speak of the Jewish culture. Because see, peep this right. If Satan come right now, sit beside me and tell me to go out here and kill somebody, and I do it, I can't blame Satan. You understand? Where was my wisdom? Where was my thoughts? Where was my common sense to knowing I'm wrong? So if there is trickery in the books we read because they are rewritten, and this is the way that the world has been structured off of trickery, then you got to blame yourself and you got to do something different. Because see, it was a time I knew when I was growing up, people had it in their mind it's a certain number that can only go into heaven. You feel me? So if that is true, don't you think there are cultures out here want you to go to hell so they can get into heaven? Use your common sense. Once again, I am the nasty pastor. If I don't love you, don't nobody else gonna love you. Here, understand this. Understand this now. Wake up. Understand this now. A man is a terrible thing to waste. Understand this now. You are grown up. You're an adult. America really defines you as an adult at 15 years old. You can go and emancipate yourself at 15, 16 years old. So America acknowledges you being an adult at that age. So what I'm going to say to you, and I'm going to say it like this. For us to have free will, for us to be able to read, for us to be able to walk in these libraries, sit down, get a book, and educate our own selves, there's no excuse. There's none in the world. That's not an excuse you can ever come out your mouth and say that can back, I didn't know. You understand me? There's nothing you can say. So look, I love you. Please go like, subscribe, share, comment, follow. I'm out.